What's up, everybody? Welcome back to more Birthright coverage here as we continue on with the Ruling a Domain series of videos here. And today we're going to start a new sub-series, which is taking a look at all the actions you can take as a domain ruler. So recently we looked at random events in a mini-series and some of the fun that you can have with that, and how that can impact, even the best laid plans that your various PC regents might have, and just ways that you can incorporate some interesting swerves as the Dungeon Master just to keep things fresh. So the actions, again, we've covered a little bit on the different types of actions, so like domain, realm, and free actions and all that, and we'll save the strategy on that for a little bit later on some of those types of actions, but we'll try to point things out as we go through the list. This will be a multi-part series because it's going to be way too long of a video to show you all of these actions in one go. And I do like that they have this master list of actions here. So what I usually do for my players in a campaign is you will photocopy this page just as a reference, super easy to have, and also just having an extra copy for you as the DM. But if you were lucky enough to buy the full-on Birthright box set, your Dungeon Master screen for that is just super useful. Half of it is purely for running the Birthright campaign, so it just takes a lot of the load off for you as far as having to reference all the different components for running a campaign. So again, and it's nice here too because it'll tell you what type of action it is, the costs and successes, and then action name and a description. So super handy. But we're going to jump right in, and we'll probably do this depending on the length of the actions. As far as the description goes, maybe like 2 or 3 per video just to keep it relatively manageable for length. So sorry about all the shifting here. So first one is pretty simple and straightforward. It's an adventure, right? Depending on how you're starting the campaign, whether they're level 1 characters or just taking over the existing ones from the book, you might start at low, medium, or high levels. But going on an adventure is pretty cool, and there are some adventures designed for regents that we'll cover in a separate series of videos as we look at all the releases that have come out for Birthright. So, adventure. So this has a special success. There's no base cost because, well, you're the king, queen, whatever you want to call yourself, and you like, hey, I'm going on an adventure. Leave your rest of your courts to run the domain in your absence. So this is a character type naturally. So let's see if we can flatten this out a little bit for you guys. So regents don't spend all their time ruling their domains. There's monsters to be fought, intrigues to be solved, castles to be stormed, and again, a lot of these adventures can tie into responses from some of the different random events as well. So, and they don't always have to be these grand adventures, because at some point you do got to get back to running your country or your domain. So, in short, regents participate in the same activities as normal adventurers. If a PC regent wants to see what's over the next hill, he or she can ride off in search of fame and fortune. It certainly doesn't hurt to also get your level up just for more abilities and gain more power, personal power for yourself there too, as there's obviously some pretty high level major figures in the setting. Adventures may reflect the activities of other regents or provocative random events, as we said. A smart DM keeps some short adventures prepared for such occasions. Again, there's so much placed on the DM for sort of getting the most out of a Birthright campaign. You do have a double duty, right? Because you're not just the normal D&D DM, but there's the whole framework and the rules of that part of the Birthright campaign of running a domain. So having a lot of extra stuff prepared, it'll take time. So don't get flustered with, oh, I don't have all these responses and all these pre-planned things. Just take some time, build some simple little adventures, nothing too fancy. But on this one, it doesn't hurt to have some basic things for characters to do in response to random events. And again, you can create little variations, response A, B, and C to event D, and then you can just mix it up over time so that, again, nothing kind of gets repetitive for the players. An adventure uses one of the character's actions for the turn. If the adventure is a prolonged quest lasting more than 4 weeks, then it's an action for each month that you're away. Domain remains inactive until they return, so you can't issue orders while you're away. I always give a little bit of leeway there. So, if you have a couple of capable lieutenants, you can do some basic, like, here's, if I'm gone longer, do A, B, and C again, or X, Y, and Z. And, you know, if this happens, respond with this and that. So we leave that a little bit more fair in our campaigns. But again, you can kind of either go strictly by the book here or house rule some stuff too, of course. So again, nothing has to be set in stone. You don't like something, make some changes. So adventure is pretty simple, right? Going on an adventure, respond to random events, or just a full-on adventure like, hey, it's time to level up. And there's always been, you know, rumors of A, B, and C or X, Y, Z again in our domain. Or maybe you're going to sneak abroad and go incognito. Use that to also spy on maybe some rival domains. So lots of cool possibilities there. But obviously, if you get into trouble and you're caught in another domain, that could be bad news too, and could cause some other political ramifications. Anyway, moving on. So we'll probably just make this one a two-parter here. We'll just take a look at Agitate today. This is a fun one. So this one does have a cost. You have to have a base 10 plus. Then base cost is going to be a Regency point and a gold bar. Regency point's not that hard or not that expensive, but a gold bar certainly is, especially if you don't have a powerful economy built up yet. It's a domain action. Priests get it for free. Again, they get one freebie per set of domain turns, and it is a realm action as well. So a regent with a holding can use their influence to agitate or stabilize the province's loyalty toward its ruler. A ruler can agitate in favor of themselves naturally. And then a priest regent can do this once per domain turn as a free action. So again, if you have a theocracy, kind of like Telinier or Meduer, you have some additional benefits there. The success number is increased by the difference between the active regent's holding and the province rating. So it's easier to agitate when you have a substantial influence. So especially, you know, having like law and stuff will also be useful at times. If the ruler supports the effort, the ruler's law holdings are subtracted from the success number. If the ruler is opposed, add the law holdings to the success number. And then the success number can also be modified by spending gold bars, right? Hey, spend money to gain influence. Pretty simple concept, right? So spending gold bars at a rate of 1 per point. So it does get pretty expensive if you're wanting to put that number in either in your favor or against someone else's favor here. So yeah, very, very expensive, progressively expensive. If the agitator succeeds by a margin of 10 or more, so again, if you really want to invest in this action, if it succeeds by 10 or more, the province loyalty will change by 2 steps, right? And that is significant. We haven't really covered that in detail yet, but, you know, taking a province from supremely loyal to, well, there's some discontent brewing, or the discontent is already there, to like outright rebellion. Again, you can kind of stick it to opposing players and their provinces if you have some influence there, where it's like, well, you know, if you're going to threaten military action with me, we're going to, that political problem that you haven't been dealing with, we're going to bring that into open rebellion, and then now you're going to have to deal with that. So it doesn't always require a military response to deal with certain like threats and stuff like that. So if you want to use this aggressively, then there's just ways that you can create problems for other players creatively with this. Agitate is one of the most fun actions, whether you're using it again to benefit yourself or a ruler that you're in favor of, again, depending on what type of campaign you're running, where everybody's a domain ruler in the same realm or spread across realms. There's, you know, so many ways of doing that, but yeah, using it for benefit or using it to sort of piss somebody off or cause problems for somebody else is huge. And you can, you know, use that against NPC kingdoms certainly as well. Lots and lots of fun to be had with that. And then also here, Agitate can be declared as a realm action and used in several provinces in the same realm at once. So yeah, really, really good stuff here. So what they don't really mention though is, you know, if you're doing it as realm action, should you then increase the cost by, you know, a Regency point and a gold bar per province? So different ways you could rule that, you know, just depending. I would allow the players to get a little bit creative here and work with them. So if it seems like the type of action or the type of specific thing that they're agitating would make sense to sort of give them just a one-shot cost for everything, let them have it. Otherwise, depending on how complicated or complex, maybe build in a cost per province. So different ways of having some fun with that. But that's the first couple of actions. So let us know your memorable moments in running Birthright with these domain actions and how you've maybe creatively used Agitate or Adventure and what's happened. Hit us in the comments, guys. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.